Next on HD's Concert Review, we go from mediocre to legendary in Kansas City. Welcome back to another edition of HD's Concert Review, and today we're talking Tool from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, which is a modest 5-hour drive from my hometown of OKC. Before I get to the bands, I just want to give it up to the Power and Light District of KC, as there aren't too many places like the T-Mobile Center that's within walking distance to a number of bars and restaurants, which is why this is one of my favorite venues to visit. Before I get to Tool, let's start with their opening act, The Acid Helps. And I'm going to go with a low-hanging fruit here. Yes, being on acid would help to make this band more enjoyable.
And it gets worse.
This is the second time I've seen Tool, and this is the second time I thought their opening act was pretty mediocre at best. The drummer for The Acid Helps is really the lone bright spot for me in the band. They did have a couple of decent songs, but I thought their lows were too much to overcome for their set. The lead singer sounds like a discount Lane Staley on mushrooms. Now, I did listen to some of their music on the way back home, and honestly, it sounds way better than their live stuff. They're not my cup of tea, but I don't know, maybe there's a market for a band like that. Real quick before I get to Tool, what the fuck is up with the show poster selling out so quick? They literally sold the last one to the guy in front of me, and to say the least, I was super pissed. Allegedly, it was 2 per customer, but I saw some motherfuckers walking around with like 4 of them. Alright, sorry about that rant. Let's get on to the headline of the show, which is Tool.
Does everybody know what time it is? Tool time!
What else can be said about Tool that hasn't already been said? With the same lineup since 1995, you pretty much know what to expect, and that's a consistent, great sounding live act. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and we both agreed that as far as sound goes, this might be the best hard rock / metal band you will ever hear live. As far as the set list goes, it's very heavy on their new album, Fear Inoculum, which made up roughly half the set list. If there's a complaint to be had, it's with the set list having too many songs from the new album. I had a conversation with another buddy of mine who's never seen Tool before, likes their music, very casual fan. He said he would have been disappointed with the set list, and if I was a casual fan, I'd be hard pressed to disagree with him, but I still think it's worth it to see him live even with this set list. Now, I am a little bit biased. They did play my favorite song, Sober, so I was pretty happy with that. Overall, I mean, their stage show with the lasers and the videos really do make them a must-see live band. For those of you who have never seen Tool live, just know that you are not allowed to use your phones during any portion of the show, and there are plenty of signs and security folks to remind you of that. Now, with that being said, they will allow you to record the last song of the evening, so don't freak out too much with the no cell phone policy. And the song they do let you record is the same song they play last on every show of the tour, which is Invincible, so kind of smart on their end that the only songs you can see live from this tour is the same song that you will see uploaded on YouTube or whatever social media platforms you get your videos on. And whenever Maynard said we could use our cameras as long as we didn't have our flash on, you still had some idiots that had their flash on.
There's a dummy. There's a dummy. There's a dummy. Your fucking flash. Oh, there's plenty of fucking lights up here. Turn your fucking light off. Jesus Christ. Good night.
As far as individual performances go, awesome as usual. Maynard, of course, does his thing in the back, making sure his bandmates are up front and center. Drummer Danny Carey has a great solo after the intermission, really using all of his tools at his disposal. Now, Danny is from Lawrence, Kansas, which is where the University of Kansas is, so every time he comes to Kansas City, he's always wearing a KU basketball jersey, but you'll never see him wearing a Kansas football jersey. Bassist Justin Chancellor doing his thing while looking quite dapper, I might add. And of course, childhood friend of Tom Morello, Adam Jones on lead guitar. The weird thing with Jones is that he doesn't really show any emotion on his face during pretty much the whole show, which I've always found kind of odd because to me, music is such an expression of emotion. So, I don't know, just kind of weird to see that kind of stoic / blank look on his face. Overall, I want to give this show an A-. The pros, great venue location, Tool, cons, the opening band, and the lack of a fucking poster. Next time on HD's Concert Review, I want to stick here in my hometown for Korn and Chevelle. Until next time, go out and live your best life.